Good morning, I hope you're having an absolutely fantastic day. Now, there are a lot of things that really annoy me. I don't often talk about them, especially not here on YouTube, but there are just so many things. I thought that this week's video, I would do 3 things that I hate people doing in public. Yep, it's going to be one of those generic YouTuber ranty video list things. I couldn't think of anything else to make a video about this week, so I'm sorry if it's a bit shit, because it is probably going to be a bit shit. Anyway, 3 things that I hate people doing in public. Number 1, spitting. I've never really understood this, and quite frankly, I don't get the appeal of just expelling bodily fluids and leaving them on the pavement for everyone to see. Do people think it makes them look cool? It doesn't. It doesn't make you look cool. It makes you look like a twat. And the weird thing about it is that you kind of see people of all ages doing this. If you're like 13 years old, while it's still fucking disgusting, it's sort of maybe slightly excusable, purely on the basis of like rebellious teen behavior and like trying to fit in with groups of people and actually thinking that that sort of thing might be cool and that's how you get friends. I don't know. But when you see grown adults doing this, and I don't just mean like 17, 18 years old, I mean like an actual adult and you do this, what is wrong with you? I've legitimately been in the middle of a conversation with someone at university, someone who is like 25 years old or whatever, and in between sentences, they'll just like turn their head and spit on the floor. It's like, what are you doing, man? And most of the time with these people, they're not even spitting anything like of substance onto the floor. It's just like regular saliva that they could have very easily swallowed and not make themselves look like a disgusting twat. Sorry mate, did your throat just decide to like have an off day? I just really don't get it. Maybe if you're actually ill and you've got a chest infection or something like that, there's potentially slightly more of an excuse for it, but not really. In fact, no, still, there's no excuse to do it in that situation. Because if you're doing that, you're spitting horrible bacteria-infested, infectious, gross slime onto the ground. This is a gross conversation to be having. The fact that openly talking about the contents of someone's spit is disgusting surely is testament to the fact that you shouldn't leave it lying around on the floor. And if you're ill in that kind of way, which lots of us have been, just have a couple of tissues in your pocket and then just put them in the bin after like spitting into them. Like, ugh. It's just gross. Stop spitting on the floor. No one has ever been like, oh, I really fancied this guy, but then like I saw him spit on the floor. He like literally regurgitated some of his like bodily fluids and just left them on the pavement, and then I was just in love. It's so gross. And the reason I kind of bring this up is that whenever I walk around town, like regardless of what time of day it is or where I am, you just always see on the floor these just like little puddles of spit. Please stop spitting on the floor. Grow up. It's not cool. It's disgusting. Number 2 is anyone who gets on any kind of public transport whatsoever and plays music without using headphones. It's interesting because this is such a common choice, and yet somehow it's still enough of a problem for people to talk about and make videos about. What is wrong with you? Why do you think that this is acceptable? No one wants to hear your music. I might go out and buy like 10 pairs of really cheap headphones and just keep them in my bag all the time, so whenever I'm in that situation, I can go over and be like, oh mate, I'm really sorry that you left your headphones at home this morning. It's really unfortunate, but it's okay. I've got a pair here you can have so you can stop playing music out of your phone. I wonder how long it would take for me to get punched if I did that. Also, whenever this happens, it's a group of like fairly young people normally who very much seem to be trying to be like cool. If they were doing it to try and actively antagonize and piss people off, then I feel like there'd be more merit in it. At least that has some sort of a very bizarre purpose other than just trying to look cool in an environment where literally no one thinks that you look cool. Everyone thinks that you're a nuisance. Whenever you see this happen, the whole of the rest of the carriage is in communion looking at each other being like, all because of the in seat 4 playing a YouTube rip of a very bad R&B song out of his iPhone 3. Number 3 is kind of a funny one, and it's just anyone who rides around on a bike doing a wheelie in town. Do you know what I mean? I feel like we've all seen these people and are all equally confused by it. Your bike has 2 wheels for a reason. Everyone is laughing at you. Again, I just don't understand this. Do these people think that they look cool? Are they riding around doing their little wheelies thinking, whoa, look at everyone gazing at me in adoration of my dank wheelie skills? You just look like a twat in a tracksuit on a stolen bike doing arguably the lamest bicycle trick ever. I'm just jealous, really. I could never do wheelies when I was younger. The thing about that, though, is that it's kind of excusable because most of the people that do that are just kids, but occasionally you'll see that rare specimen of an adult doing it. I can remember when I lived in Gloucester, there was this big place called Gloucester Park, you know, imaginative name for a park. There was always this one guy who looked about 35, 40 years old, who would just wheelie around in laps of this park. Come rain or shine, whether it was the height of summer or the depths of winter, he would be there doing little wheelie laps. I can remember being sat in the park when I was younger, just drinking and chatting with a few friends, and along comes Wheelie Man, and just for about 3 hours, he was just there, just doing wheelies around this same little bit of path. It got to the point where we were like taking bets on how long he'd be able to last. He never managed a full lap. I don't know, I feel like I'm being a bit of a dick. Maybe he was practicing for some wheelie competition. I guess I don't hate the wheelie thing, it's just more bemusing for me. I just really don't understand it. I'm probably too old, I don't know what entertains the youths anymore. Bonus round 4, anyone being generally discourteous or rude, not holding the door open, not thanking people if they hold the door open for them, standing in big groups on an escalator so people can't get up the left-hand side, swearing at the elderly, stealing, murdering, I don't know. All of those things I hate people doing in public. And And in private as well. You probably shouldn't steal or murder or swear at the elderly in any situation. Unless it's like a racist, homophobic old man or something. But even then, you got to think that it's a generational thing and they just weren't brought up in the same way that we are now. But how much of an excuse really is that if someone's just being a bad person? Oh, I don't know, I digress. Anyway, that concludes this video of the 3 things that I hate people doing in public. Let me know some of the things that you hate people doing in public. Do you agree or disagree with anything I've said? Maybe you're a wheelie champion and think I'm being a twat. Man, I say twat a lot, don't I? Yeah, I'd love to hear your thoughts. I hope you found this video interesting or entertaining in some way. I've got another music review coming next week. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you have a fantastic day, and I will see you very soon.